Hello and welcome to Leadership Dialogue, your thought leadership platform where we engage visionaries, nation builders, and change makers shaping the ethics and direction of leadership across Africa and beyond. I am Kamyong John, your host, and today's conversation is a powerful one where we're looking at the ethical leadership imperative fighting corruption from the top down. Now, leadership, as they say, sets the tone, but how can leaders model integrity in societies where corruption has become systemic? Now, how do we build a new generation of leaders driven by value and not by greed? Now, to help us unpack this, we have with us a remarkable leader in his climb and a man with so many books to his name. He is in the academia and also an intellectual, I must emphasize. And I want to welcome on the show Dr. Peter Ede, a senior lecturer with the University of Abuja. Doctor, it's great to have you join us on Leadership Dialogue today.
Thank you. My pleasure being here.
Right. Now, in looking at today's conversation, we need to understand that it is a great pleasure to have you, Doctor, and it's important that we begin to unpack that composite called leadership, and especially with regards to the conversation for today's show. Now, you have been involved in leadership at different levels, and as a member of the intellectual class, you have also written several books that in different ways have tilted or tried to influence our kind of leadership culture in Nigeria and on the black continent of Africa. So let's look at the values with regards to ethical leadership. How do we interpret? Because every time we talk about standards, we talk about best global standards with regards to leadership, politics, economy, and all the various classes. But in terms of ethical leadership, how do we truly define it in the context of Nigeria and Africa?
Thank you very much. Ethics, as we all know, is a branch of philosophy that deals with the morality of human behavior. And applying it to leadership, you cannot have good leadership where you are the bar of ethical norms. Ethics does a lot on the human person. That is where our values are there to lead us. A society that is the bar of ethics cannot move forward. The peculiarity of African leaders and Nigerian leaders in particular is running away from these ethical norms. And so, for leadership to have or to be seen and be viewed as for Africans to be seen having leadership in anything, then we must be morally sound. And the question is, are our leaders at the moment morally okay?
But they position themselves, because we are very religious as a people across the continent, they position themselves to be quite religious. And when you talk morality, there's always that interchange between morality and religiousness.
Now you see, you can be religiously articulate. You can be religiously popular. You can be religiously everywhere, and they know you as a religious person, but you are not morally sound. Even the religious leaders need to imbibe in ethics to actually communicate their religious beliefs very well. Ethics. What is ethics? They are the norms of the society. They are the norms, the do's and the don'ts. You understand? There are branches of ethics, the normative ethics, we have the meta ethics, and then we have the descriptive ethics. And the normative ethics deals with the good and the bad. This is good and that is bad. Meta ethics goes to question what act is good or what act is bad. It looks at it at a metaphysical level and interprets these actions, that what is right and what is wrong. And that is where it gives lead to where maybe if it is legal, you could take it to work on, if it is whatsoever. Now, when you come to descriptive ethics, we have people of different background. You have an Ibibio man, I'm an Igede man, and we are from different culture. We have our ethical
beliefs and standpoints.
And what allow us to move. In my culture, we shake hands. If you come and you greet elders without shaking their hands, you have not greeted them. And they will say, look at this boy, he doesn't greet. And then, in some culture, to shake even a woman is a haram. And then, what do you say? So, now, Nigeria, for instance, or even Africa as a whole, is a conglomerate of diversity, culturally, traditionally. And we have imbibed and accepted
Western
an alien culture. And we are battling with it. It's not as if this alien culture is bad. It's not as if it is different from what we have been doing, but the way we do them is different. For instance, he is swearing you in as a leader, and they say, who are you? You're a Christian, and you are given a Bible, and you're a leader, you collected the Bible, and you swore. But you went into governance, and you are looting government. You are looting.
Despite swearing by the Bible.
And you get me, yet you have sworn by the Bible and the Quran. But come up with my culture or my tradition and bring up one
deity.
Ekpai. I'll bring up Oita. I'll bring out Ogun and bring it down there. Or bring Amadioha and let our leaders swear by it. You see the synergy. Because there is a better understanding of the Ogun, of Ekpe, of Amadioha. There is a better understanding with our culture that you can't joke with it. Now you carry the Bible. As a matter of fact, in the morning you receive the Holy Communion. In the afternoon, you are being sworn in. And then, in the night, you're already signing papers out of the way. It cannot work. Now, when we look at ethics and look at our leaders, we need to sound their minds. Some of the leaders are morally sound, but the system sometimes also get to corrupt them. Where you have a good leader, by way of him is one who likes to show justice. He is one who likes to his integrity. He is one who can show empathy. He is one that can, but then he has around him his chief of staff, his SSA, his PA, his that and all that. When people come, these are stumbling blocks to express, for the leader to be able to express that good man that he is, that which was identified in him and was made to be a leader. So you find that in our political space. You find that in our offices. You find out, you can imagine, in the past, you could walk up straight to the office of a vice chancellor as an academic staff. You do not need protocols because you are an academic. A professor is sitting down there as a professor. And another professor will come and he will sit and wait and wait and wait. At the end of the day, may not even see because they brought in other unethical practices where into the system whereby the vice chancellor becomes unaccessible. Now, leadership is not the problem. It's understanding of leadership that is the problem. It's the personality that gets into leadership that is the problem. When you get a corrupt person into leadership, what do you expect? Now, imagine a situation whereby a governor of a state will rise up to say, I have appointed commissioners. And if you are coming to my office without wearing Tinubu's cap, you will be in trouble. Is that leadership?
Big question.
Is that leadership? It automatically shows that that governor knows nothing. He doesn't even know what he represents. He does not know what he represents. Where are the laws enabling him to enforce dress code for anybody? Because you're a governor, they go beyond their parameters.
Your statements are quite profound because many times we hear that corruption trickles down, right? But it also seems that ethical conduct must flow from the top. How leaders in public and private sectors create a culture that discourages corruption right from the leadership? How do they do it?
Now, to be fair to some of our leaders, it is not the leadership that sometimes are corrupt. It's the people around. I can tell you without mincing words that our country is in bad shape today, not because of the bad leaders we have, but because of the civil servants working with them. And I can buttress this fact clearly. We have politicians who are striving to become a senator, striving to become one thing or the other. Some of them are completely ignorabimus. They know nothing even of governance. And they come in there. It is the civil servants who are in the offices who tell them what to do, who brings the files, who carries them around. These are the people who teach the leaders
how to be corrupt.
How to be corrupt.
Wow.
Who taught leadership budget padding? I give you a typical example of what has happened sometime in the past. Your brother, Senator Akpabio, his first appearance as a Senate president, you could remember the blunder he committed when he said he has given money for the people, and they said, no. That's why he said, okay, he has sent email to your, check your inbox, that's email. What is that? He never knew it. He was never guided. And he came, his mind on that seat, tabla rasa, and he said what he has to say in good faith.
Without any negative intent.
Exactly. Not because he was corrupt to have done that, but because, of course, it is possibly a policy there that when they sit, they have their sitting allowance, but you don't make noise about it. You see it. And so, if a leader has integrity, because ethics calls for integrity. Ethics calls for fairness. Ethics calls for empathy. Ethics calls for, name them, prudence and all that. You must put all this together for the leader to carry along. And that is where, when that is lacking in any leader, he fails to apply. He fails to lead. I don't want to go into leadership style, because sometimes we are beclouded by leadership style. But how about the ethical view of that leader? If, for instance, when you look around today, you will watch from TikToks and all that, the complaints coming from military
or personnel.
Those who have been maltreated, or those who have gone on a war, or those who possibly had some court martialing that they never got the kind of justice they expected to get. Now, the military is authoritarian.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And their rules are there. And when you are court martial, you still have lawyers, the military lawyers, to actually carry out this. How were they applied? The kind of leadership that was set in place for those things to do. Now, when you listen to the voices of our soldiers wailing and suffering, it calls for serious worry. In the 70s, in the 80s, it is a taboo, a national taboo, for you to lose one soldier.
But now
it is calamitous for any community or any group of persons to mob a soldier. But today,
story is different.
The military has been rubbished. This is, I keep saying it, this is a country that has shown world power. Nigeria is a world power. I say it without water in my mouth, without any fear of contradiction. I stand to be challenged. Nigeria is a world power. We were there. In the Lebanons, we were there. In Somalia, we were there. Name them. Liberia, Sierra Leone. What have we not done? Peacekeeping. Nigeria has been at the forefront of peacekeeping, but yet not recognized as having contributed to the development of
I would have loved
basically the failure of leadership to look at. Now, for if any leadership is listening to me, for any good leader, one thing must be put in place, and that is what Thomas Aquinas would call summum bonum. The summum bonum must be the key of every leader. What is the summum bonum? That is the highest good. Summum bonum in Latin means the highest good. What is the greatest good of Nigeria? What is the greatest good anywhere any leader find himself? What is the greatest good? That is what he will apply. And he will apply that through justice. When you are ethically sound, the next thing is to apply justice. And leadership calls for the application of leadership, application of justice, and you must understand what justice is all about. And Thomas Aquinas has classified justice in two sets: commutative justice and distributive justice. Commutative justice has to do with you and I, individuals, fair play. I am buying this from you, I am getting it at a fair price. You are not gaining too much from me. It is fair. I do something with you, we had an agreement, and we keep to that agreement in fairness. Distributive justice has to do with a leader giving to each one his due. Aquinas call it jus distributiva. Giving to each one his due. You are here as a manager of this studio. You receive what is due to you, and in good time. There is nothing like delayed payment of salaries, delayed payment of one thing or the other. You are withholding people's salaries over what? The country is not moving forward when the academics are not well attended to. What would they produce? Is garbage in, garbage out. Is what you give to the academicians to make them comfortable that they are able to give out.
That's why I want to ask you quickly.
How would you expect a situation whereby an academic staff cannot feed his family because of the meager salary? Now, we are not even complaining about the meager salary. We are talking about revitalization of the Nigerian university system.
That's why I want to ask you, in closing, many young people watching today, future leaders, are disillusioned about politics and leadership. In your parting words, what's your message to them about rebuilding trust in governance?
In my what? In my parting mood.
In your passing words.
Okay.
Yeah, parting words. What's your view?
Now, you see, we have leadership in Nigeria, but we have failed leadership. And I want every Nigerian leader at every level, because we are all leaders. Even the followers are equally leaders by following, because you must follow well. That if we put the summum bonum before us, what is the greater good for the Nigerian child? What is the greater good for Nigeria? What is the greater good for Nigeria to develop? Then we'll begin to curb corruption. The fact here is that, like your topic says, you cannot fight corruption. No. But you can work it out. I wrote an article on corruption methodology. What do I mean by that? When you look at what is referred to as corruption in Nigeria, it's not captured in any of our laws. There is no way in our constitution you find corruption. There is no way in the legal whatsoever that you find the issues of corruption, that you find corruption being applied. But you can find stealing. You can find the 419 obtaining by tricks. You can find one thing or the other. Those are named, but corruption is not named. And so we are beclouded by the word corruption. And that is why those who are corrupt and want to continue perpetuating corruption are not able to deal with it. And so when you look into it, it fights you back. Now, if we look at the elements of corruption, a contract is made for 20 million. And in essence, that contract can be done in 5 million. Automatically, you have
15 million.
15 million out. If you have heard of budget padding in this country, you know that is part of it. And the contracts that are being awarded are bloated. Take your mind back. The Peugeot company was established in between 1975 and 1976, and it came on board by 1978. It was established with a sum of 8.5 million naira. Kene only. 8.5 million naira. You can't use that to buy a fairly used Nigeria Peugeot today. 8.5. Why is it so? Now, if I were to buy this for 20, the contract is meant for 20 million. In essence, it's for 5 million. Now they have built in on it. And at the same time, what has been built on it does not take care of what it should take care. And you see the person who this contract was given to will not even carry out the contract. He will still go and sell it and resell and resell. And at the end of the day, the job is never done or half done. Sometimes in the past, I was given jobs even somewhere, and they just came and told me, okay, we know whether you do the job or not, just give us our own and go. And I rejected it completely. My friend said, come. You mean you can't do this? I said, no. What if they come on me tomorrow? You see that? Now, when I say corruption methodology, in order to curb corruption, we need to rework this. If you are bringing a contract, this contract, in essence, 5 million, we deal with it, good and fine. Now, we know that the director is there. He wants extra chop. This person is there. He wants extra chop. The cleaner at the gate, you must say something to him. Build in all that
into
it. And let all that interest be captured, and let it be clear that this contract of this 20 million, everyone has a part in it. And when it passes through, everyone has it. You cannot see that as corruption any longer. And now people will now feel they were carried along. And when it is not like that, and then one man takes it all, there is a problem.
Well, Doctor, thank you so much for sharing such valuable insights on leadership dialogue. And it has been an honor to hear your thoughts on ethical leadership and the fight against corruption. Of course, your message resonates, and the integrity is not optional. It's the foundation of true leadership. Once again, thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
And that is a wrap on this edition of Leadership Dialogue. Of course, to you, our viewers, thank you for joining us. Remember, real leadership begins with responsibility, and change starts when we decide to lead with integrity. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at Leadership LJE Nigeria. I am Nkamian John, signing off for Leadership Dialogue. Stay ethical, stay impactful, and see you on the next one.